Welcome to Lesson 06, the one that saves your weekend. Here's the scenario. Your script runs flawlessly in the shell, you drop it into cron tab, and then nothing. No output, no error, no trace. That silence isn't a bug. It's cron stripping your environment down to almost nothing. 4 things usually die in the process: your path, your home, your virtual NV, and your locale. Let's go fix them. Here's the roadmap. First, the single most powerful debugging trick in all of Cron. One line that dumps Cron's actual environment to a file so you can see exactly what it gives you. Then, we fix path 3 different ways. Get virtual NVs and NVM and rbenv actually running, and shut down the locale trap that turns your UTF-8 into garbage. By the end, 60 seconds is all you'll need to diagnose any silent cron failure. Look at the evidence side by side. Your interactive shell carries somewhere north of 30 variables. Path stretching across 6 directories, your virtual NV, your NVM setup, locale, display, the works. Cron hands your script 5. Path shrinks to USR, bin, and bin. No virtual env, so Python breaks. No NVM dir, so Node breaks. No lang, so UTF-8 turns to Mojibake. No bash RC, no profile, no aliases. That's it. Welcome to Cron. So why does Cron behave this way? 3 reasons, and they chain together. First, Cron doesn't log in, so etc. profile and your bash profile never run, which is where path and locale get exported in the first place. Second, Cron isn't interactive, so even chapai bashirk is skipped. No aliases, no functions, no path tweaks. And third, Cron defaults to bin sh, not bash, so any bashism you wrote silently breaks. Strip away login, strip away interactive, swap the shell, of course your environment vanishes. So before you fix anything, find out what Cron actually has. Add this single line to your Cron tab, 5 stars, then NV redirected to TMP Cron NV. Wait 1 minute, cat the file, and compare it to env in your own shell. Every missing variable, every shorter path, every absent lang, that's your suspect list. Then edit the line back out. You're not guessing anymore. You've got evidence. Top of that suspect list is almost always path. Cron gives you USR bin, that's it. So here are 3 honest fixes. Hard code the absolute path in the command, foolproof, ugly, perfect for a one-off. Set path once at the top of the Cron tab, clean, centralized, ideal for your personal jobs. Or call a wrapper script that sources your real shell environment. Heavier, but the right answer when the job is complex. Same effect, different trade-offs. Pick by context. Path is the headline act, but 2 more traps catch almost everyone. First, virtual NVs. Cron has no idea your Python project lives inside of NV, so you wrap the job and source the Activate script yourself. Same pattern works for NVM, rbenv, conda, only the path changes. Second, locale. Cron defaults to plain C, ASCII only, which means your CSV full of accented characters quietly corrupts at 3 in the morning. Set lang and LC all at the top of the Cron tab, and UTF-8 comes back to life. Now step back and ask why Cron behaves this way at all. The empty environment isn't an oversight. It's deliberate, and it rests on 3 ideas. Reproducibility. Your shell drifts every week, but Cron must run the same command for years. Security. Your interactive session is full of tokens, SSH agents, AWS keys. None of that belongs in a background job running as a different user. And explicitness. When you declare what the job needs, you can debug it. When you inherit it, you're chasing ghosts. So here's the cheat sheet. Print it, tape it to your monitor, and stop guessing. 3 columns. What Cron gives you, what it quietly omits, and the 1 line that closes each gap. Home, log name, PWD, a minimal path and shell, those you get. Locale, virtual NV, version managers, your dot files, any GUI access, those you don't. And on the right, the fixes. Dump cron's env to a file, set path explicitly, force the locale, run as a login shell, source your bash RC through bash env, or wrap the whole thing in a script. Pick the pattern, apply it, move on. Now it's your turn. 3 exercises, each one a real production failure in miniature. Start by capturing Cron's environment on your own machine and diff it against your shell. The gaps you find will surprise you. Then break a Python script by ignoring its virtual NV and write the wrapper that brings it back. Finally, watch UTF-8 names turn to garbage without a locale and fix it with 2 lines. Always reach for the env dump first. Diagnose before you patch. Before you head off to practice, here are the 5 mistakes that account for most of the cron tickets you'll ever file. Calling Python without an absolute path. Sourcing bashrc, which exits immediately in non-interactive shells. Relying on a project variable cron never saw. Firing GUI tools with no display. And writing path equals $path : something, which crontab stores as a literal string, breaking every tool you own. None of these are bugs. They're cron being minimal, exactly as designed. Recognize the shape, apply the 30-second fix. And that's lesson 6. The trap is now a known trap. Cron ships with 4 or 5 variables, a minimal path, no bashrc, no aliases, and a wrapper script will always beat a bare command. Next up, lesson 7. Logs and debugging. Where output actually goes, how mailto, syslog, and journal CTL fit together, and how to find what broke when cron stays silent. See you in the next deck.